From the Home Slice News Center, this is the Daily Slice for Monday, November 7th, 2022. I'm D-Ray Knight. This is what's going on. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem described the U.S. border with Mexico as a war zone last year when she sent dozens of state National Guard troops there. Noem said that they'd be on the front lines of stopping drug smugglers and human traffickers. But newly released records from the National Guard show in their 2-month deployment, the South Dakota troops didn't seize any drugs and sometimes went days without encountering any migrants at all. Noem justified the deployment and a widely criticized private donation to fund it as a state emergency because of drugs making their way across the southern border to South Dakota. But the records cast doubt on whether the deployment was effective in addressing that. Ahead of midterm elections tomorrow, the candidates are busy statewide. Amy Rose has the story.
Tomorrow is Election Day across the nation, and in South Dakota, candidates are making their final push. South Dakota Congressman Dusty Johnson was in Rapid City on Saturday, spending the morning canvassing votes for local legislators. Johnson joined District 32 Senator Helene Duhamel and District 32 House candidate Steve Duffy, taking to the streets in their district to hand out flyers and talk to voters. Democrat Nicole Heenan is running against Duhamel. Democrats Jonathan Oldhorse and Christine Stephenson are running against Duffy and Republican Becky Drury. In the race for governor, incumbent Kristi Noem will be holding a rally in Rapid City tonight, while Democratic challenger Jamie Smith is also traveling across the state today in hopes of securing more votes.
Meanwhile, more Republican voters are submitting absentee ballots ahead of Tuesday's general election. The South Dakota Secretary of State's office has received just over 55,000 ballots through October 28th. Republicans accounted for about 53% of those ballots. The votes will be counted after polls close on November 8th. If you're voting in person tomorrow, remember your ID. The polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 7 p.m. In national and international news, both President Joe Biden and his predecessor, Donald Trump, are hoping to provide their parties late boosts on the last full day of campaigning before midterm elections that could reshape the balance of power in Washington. Biden is holding a Monday evening rally in Maryland as Democrats eye retaking its governorship. Trump is set to stage his own event in Ohio, where his hand-picked Senate candidate, J.D. Vance, is running in a state that has turned more reliably red in recent cycles. Republicans are optimistic about winning enough seats to retake control of both the House and Senate, while Democrats insist they are poised for a better night than many expect. Amy Rose has the latest on the war in Ukraine.
Russian-appointed authorities in the occupied Ukrainian city of Kherson say power is currently being partially restored following what they have called a Ukrainian terrorist attack on power lines. The southern city was cut off from power and water supplies on Sunday after 3 power lines were damaged in the region that Moscow illegally annexed in September. Ukrainian officials have not responded to the allegations, although officials have previously claimed that Russia was deliberately turning off the power in order to force civilians to evacuate in anticipation of a Ukrainian counteroffensive to retake the city. Rolling blackouts around Ukraine continued on Monday.
A record Powerball jackpot grew to an even larger $1.9 billion after no one won the drawing on Saturday night. The next chance for someone to get lucky is tonight. The new $1.9 billion jackpot is for a winner who is paid through an annuity over 29 years. Winners usually prefer a lump sum of cash, which the Multi-State Lottery Association says would be $929 million for Monday's drawing. The odds of any given ticket winning the Powerball jackpot are 1 in 292 million. Those long odds have led to 3 months going without anyone matching all 6 balls. Your weather forecast from the Home Slice Weather Center. Snow showers possible and windy today with a high of 50. Tonight's low, 30. And that was your Daily Slice for Monday, November 7th, 2022. The Daily Slice is a production of Home Slice Media Group, hosted by D-Ray Knight with Amy Rose. Executive producer Mark Houston. Engineered by Chris Jacquez. I'm D-Ray Knight. Have a great day.